With times 5, you can just add a 0 and divide by 2. I guess that makes sense. Because 24 times 10 would be 240. That is something that I do. I didn't do it here, obviously, but I definitely have done that before. Because it's like, a lot of times with multiplying by 5, I have to think of it as multiplying it by 50. Because I can go that route and go, okay, times 10 is this many, because this many is just adding a 0 on the end. And then I just cut that in half. So yeah, it would be 240. Half of 240, which would be 120. And don't worry, I'd already forgotten that there was 120 before. It's about employing enough tricks, yeah. I guess that's like, I don't know. When we talk about, this is getting into so much other shit, but oh my god, 99%. How you doing, Chef Maria? And everybody else with the raid, with the PT raid. Good to see you guys. I'm gonna sleep for 1 hour, I think. So many tricks that goes quick, yeah. But what's funny about, like, when we talk about Common Core math, when parents of young or even teenage children get so pissed off about the Common Core curriculum, all they're really getting pissed off at is different tricks. Like, if you've ever actually looked at these assignments, it's like they're trying to teach different tricks that don't always work perfectly, but the main issue is that the parent looking at it just didn't learn it that way. And so they think that it's stupid and wrong and whatever. But it's like, a lot of the stuff that they try and teach are tricks that my brain just clung to as the only way that I can conceptualize it. And then there's others that I read that I'm just like, okay, what the fuck is that? Like, you're going so far... you're going so far left field with it. But it isn't just trying to teach kids a totally incorrect way of doing math. It's teaching them different ways of doing math, which is why they call it, as far as I know, why they call it Common Core, is it's just... when they teach enough of those tricks, then everybody can figure it out the same way. Making it like a common thing or whatever. At least that's how I understood it last time I looked at all that shit. But as I, talking about like seeing numbers, I can understand that some people maybe can and can just do it that quickly without even being able to explain how they do it. Not because they do it in a weird way, but because it just calculates in their head. Like, I can understand some people operating that way because of the fact that, how many people just found out in the last couple of weeks or months or years that some people don't have an inner monologue. Some people don't have a voice that talks in their head and narrates their thoughts. That they don't have narratable thoughts. Their thoughts are more abstract. Or how many people just learned that other people do have an inner monologue, like you see in the movies where there's a voiceover effect. Like, I was just having this conversation with a couple of my, like, mobile game people. Some people cannot visualize in their head. There's a word for it that I forget, but some people cannot visualize, period. I also I have a voice in my head that I listen to, and I can visualize things. But then there are a lot of people out there that are like, I didn't know anyone could see pictures in their head. I thought it was a metaphor. My father makes his monologues public. That's kind of all that I'm doing all day long. And I visualize too, and it's like... But it's the fact that some people cannot, you know, if you ask them to imagine like this bedroll, they don't have that somewhat fuzzy image that's like behind their eyes that they're imagining, you know, they're imagining seeing. You can't like imagine seeing something. All they know is that like they have raw data that they have collected when they've seen the thing. They're like, it's blue, it's got some funny lines on it with some like ties at either end, and it lays flat and it's this thick. Like, they just know that raw data and they can rattle it off, but they can't see it. They can't make themselves see it in their mind. Like, it's just wild to me that, you know, some people can, some people can't. I struggle to imagine not being able to visualize. Like, I don't know how I would recognize other people that I know. I don't know how I would recognize my own mother if I couldn't see her face in my head whenever. Or anything like that. But other people, they're like, that's just how it is. You know? Or the experience of like total blindness, total like neurological blindness, where, you know, when we all think of blindness, we think, oh no, my eyes are covered, I cannot see, you know, I see darkness, I see a blackness in my vision, you know, I see exactly what I would see if I closed my eyes, and you don't. When you do not have sight, you just don't see. You don't see blackness, you don't see at all. You have the other senses, and because we all have, many of us, most of us, have the sense of sight, we don't know how to imagine not having it. Like, I just literally can't. It's just part of my world. We can totally get a mag lens fire going. So let's do that before it goes away. Yeah, they don't get this. They don't even see nothing. They just don't see. They
Come on, little fire.
See. And I feel like even if I were blind, I would still have to visualize. Like, even if I obviously wasn't using sight to interact with the world around me, you know, I would have to touch something and feel the shape of it, and I would start to see an image in my head. Like, it would be automatic. It'd be the only way I could understand it. No, it doesn't. I see blackness. It does not chop off my ability to see. It doesn't. I can see the inside of my eyelids. I can see... Honestly, what I see is like... TV static, almost. It's just really dark. I've never just not seen... Oh, closing one eye. I've reread your message. Closing one eye, yeah, because it's like... Well, I can kind of see something over here, but I know what you mean with that. But it does, my brain does focus more on this side and kind of almost centers it. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on, like, people who have an inner compass. Like, bro, how? The only way I can understand having an inner compass of any kind is just that your brain is very good at calibrating You know, like, I walk here and I know that because I saw it and based on where I'm at, that this truck is behind me. And, you know, if I know that the mountain is... It's not, but let's say the mountain is north. I guess it's kind of north. Like, exactly north. I know that, okay, I turned about 180 degrees away from the map, so I guess I'm going south. But I can't make that, like second nature at all. Do I ever close my eyes and try to walk through my house without bumping into stuff? I do have a pretty funny video of me doing exactly that with, blackout contacts. Really what I was trying to do is, fold laundry. And then see just how that went for me. Just, I was studying for a role, but like, it's wild. Like, I would have huge trouble if I were to go blind, because you have to know where everything is, where you put it, you know, what is what. You know, obviously there's technology to help for the most part, but like, just being able to find your own purse, you would, yeah, and I would adapt. And honestly, like, while I was practicing for the role, I did start to get better at, like, paying attention to where I was putting things and touching everything around me to make sure that it was all, like, you know, where everything was in relation to each other. And you would adapt, but yeah, I would definitely struggle with that for the first little bit. It's not like up or anything, it lives on my phone because it just was for me, like, studying the role. But it was funny. I was like narrating something I was folding and had no idea until I watched the video back that it was inside out. That I could never reverse, you know, put it back the way it was supposed to be. Okay, let's try and get this up to like 6 hours. Alright, 6.5, that's right. Languages that don't have relative directions like left or right, it's just geographical ones because they just have a trained inner compass. Yeah, that is super wild to me. Oh, my phone locked itself. Oopsie. Okay, 6.5. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do I have 6.5 hours of, like, food and such? Probably pretty close.
The sun is setting. It's gonna get a lot colder soon. I need to find food.
Well, the mental map of your house, absolutely. I worked with a woman who was... She was not totally blind. She was, oh my gosh, what's the word now? Now I'm forgetting. Oh my gosh, I know the word. But anyway, it's a form of blindness where you start to lose, you actually keep most of your peripheral... Macular degeneration, that's what it is. She had macular degeneration and kind of like walked me through how she